Hey everybody, Who's Your Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm going to be tackling episode 2 of season 2 of Game of Thrones, entitled The Nightlands. Before I jump into it, I need to just give my usual warning for this show, for reviews of this show, is in that I've read all the books, but I'm going to try really hard not to spoil anything for anybody. However, it's been more than a year since I've read A Clash of Kings, so if I forget some detail or get something wrong or get show and book continuity mixed up, please forgive me. Now let's jump right into it with the scenes at Cranston's camp between Sam and Gilly. All right, first of all, I am really enjoying the actress that they have playing Gilly. You know, in the book, she's described as not being the prettiest girl around, but that there's, you know, kind of a little sweetness, a charm to her that is endured despite the, you know, horrible circumstances that she comes from. And the actress, with a lot of subtlety, so much of it is in the eyes. She's really pulling that off. You can see why Sam immediately wants to jump to her aid. And this is one thing that really starts to drive Sam forward as a character. And I think they're doing it so well. I think this is off to such a great start. And I also like that they didn't leave out the fact that you know, there's some conflict here between him and Jon. And Jon raises a perfectly good point about what's happening here. So one thing we have that I love seeing this in books and movies and TV and anything, is where both sides are right. Sam wants to do the morally right thing, and Jon wants to do what is necessary for the mission. But they're both right. You'll both want to achieve a good and worthy goal, and they're in conflict with each other over this. As I mentioned in one of my other reviews, one of my favorite quotes when it comes to writing about science fiction is from J. Michael Straczynski, the creator of Babylon 5. And in short, he basically says that the best conflicts come not from, you know, a great good versus a great evil, but between two great goods. And here, you know, they're not exactly great in terms of power, but the clash here is between Jon and Sam over what to do with Gilly. And again, they're both right, and this makes for such great drama. And is going to be, you know, what happens between these three characters, you know, tiny little spoiler, is going to be fairly important. So, again, they're off to a great start there. Okay, so let's hop on over to the Iron Islands and what's going on with Dinan. First of all, the scene with him and the girl on the ship. Oh, excuse me. I'm just getting over a cold, so hold on a sec. Okay. Sweet Darjeeling tea. Anyway, the scene in the book, the scene between him and the girl on the ship, I liked it a lot better. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to give out a minor spoiler here just to really illustrate it. There's this part where at the very end of that thing with her where Theon's ready to walk off the boat and she's still going on like, oh, please let me be your salt wife. And Theon just kind of laughs at her and goes like, yeah, whatever. Oh, by the way, I've screwed you enough times that you're probably pregnant. See ya. You know, it just highlights what a complete and utter dick Theon can be. And then we're taken over to the castle with his dad, and his dad just absolutely destroys him. You know, did you pay the iron price or the gold price for that? And he calls him a girl walking around in a skirt. And then you even have his own sister who, just for fun, dicks with his head for, you know, just to laugh at him. Man, you know, and you know, here's a guy who was we're just thinking like, what a complete and utter jerk he is being to this, you know, woman he barely knows. And then here he is being treated like absolute dirt by his own family. And his own sister's doing this just to laugh at him. And yeah, this really. But okay, let's talk about Yara, aka Asha. Okay, because we're talking about show continuity here, I'm going to try and remember to refer to her as Yara. Now, again, I'm going to give a tiny little spoiler from the books. Is that I liked how in the books they were a lot more gentle with him. I mean, she was still kind of screws with him for fun, but it doesn't get so far as him basically pawing at her. I mean, Theon was getting perilously close to he probably did actually get to second base and was getting perilously close, I think, to third. In the book, she just sort of teases him, and even though he just keeps on macking with her, even after at one point she says, "Oh, I'm married. Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant," he still keeps going, and she just was like, "Oh, hey, dude, I'm your sister." Here, it's not right until he's just gotten a dressing down from his father does she show up and say, "Hey, big brother," and then she just proceeds to stand there and smirk at him. So, and this is a really nice example of writing here. We go from like really, really not liking Theon for being such a jerk, and then we go to seeing him being treated like dirt by his own family, and we feel sorry for him. So, it's again the two sides of the coin. We're seeing it. Oh man, I really can't talk. The writing, both George R. R. Martin and the show, are doing such a good job of making us feel both ways about the character, liking him and hating him. And this is one of the best things you can do in terms of giving people interesting, well-rounded characters. And I cannot give enough props to both George R. R. Martin and the production team for making this great balance of characters. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so while we're in that neck of the woods, let's pop over to talk about Stannis. Now, one thing that was brought up by one of my friends, my friend Teresa, is that in this they don't mention anything about shearing. Well, if you listen carefully to what Melisandre says, she says that Stannis has no sons and that the queen has only given birth to stillborn children. So Stannis' daughter from the books, Shireen, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. I think it's pretty clear that she does not exist in the show continuity. And one thing that my friend Teresa brought up to me was that this kind of takes away from what little softer side Stannis has, he has for his daughter. And, she does raise a good point. Oh, by the way, small spoiler for the books. Sorry, folks. This is one of those ones where, even regarding what I said earlier, I'm just going to have to make a few small exceptions. But anyway, as I was saying, what small bit of softer side Stannis does have, he does save for his daughter. And I really did enjoy the scenes with Shireen and him in the books, and I actually just liked her as a character on her own. She was interesting. I liked what was going on with her. And I'm also a little sad that we're not probably going to get to see Stannis' wife, mostly just because in the book she's described as being just this short of having a mustache, and she's also, oh hey, spoilers again. Wow, I'm really being bad about this review. Sorry. She's basically a huge roller religious fanatic. I mean, she's the roller version of a holy roller. Not to insult anybody who's into that sort of thing religion-wise. I'm just saying that the way she acted sometimes in terms of religious enthusiasm, shall we say, in the books, I thought they were funny. Again, sorry about that. So, yeah, as long as we're in the Isles, let's take a quick moment to talk about Salador. Now, another thing that they've changed from the books is that Salador is black now. Now, look, I don't want to get into the whole fan debate about Game of Thrones and race. I've seen some of it, and yeah, it tends to go about as well as 99% of the discussions of race on the internet. So I'm just gonna point it out that I like the actor. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Salador. But for those who do not know, in the book, Salador is described as being basically a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed dude. So I guess instead of being from Linessi, I forget exactly how you're supposed to say that. I guess this version of Salador is probably from the Summer Isles. Or maybe they changed it. It doesn't matter. It's just a little detail, and they've got a good actor playing the character. So really, there's no real reason to be upset here in my book. Okay, so I still have some more time left. Excellent. Okay, so let's talk about a few things really quick. Didn't get to see a whole lot of Dany this week, but I did like that what's going on here, they, without a whole lot of words, with just the visuals, with just the body language of the actors, they did so much to communicate the despair, the exhaustion that Dany's people are going through at this point. And even when you're reading the books, what happens to them, it just feels physically and emotionally punishing. So my hat's off to everybody for doing that and doing that so well. Yes, let's hop over to talk about Peter real quick. His scene with the prostitute. Okay, first of all, you know, I enjoy the lovely ladies as much as anybody else, but I'm not going to deny, even I felt that the level of sex in this episode was gratuitous. Although the, yeah, here you go, pal, enjoy. Oh man, I loved that. Peter, you were such a dick, but I love you. Anyways, so Peter's scene with the prostitute. Oh man. You know, I was kind of cheering Peter a little last week after him, you know, not being afraid to mix it up with Cersei. But here we're brought back and reminded, you know, as if we needed it, what a complete and utter soulless bastard Peter is. And the thing is, though, and this is so much has to go to the actor for this, he never raises his voice. He never blatantly makes any threats. It's all subtle, quiet promise of what will happen if that girl does not do what he wants. And how, I mean, just the way it's done, how could you not be scared witless of this guy? I mean, he's just a character on a TV show, and I kind of wanted to take a step back and just like, whoa, that's a scary guy. So yeah, but then there is a reason why Peter is one of the guys who is so good at playing the Game of Thrones. So yeah, and speaking of guys who are good at playing the Game of Thrones, alright, Tyrion, yes, of course, he's here. We all love him. He's doing awesome stuff. Nice stuff with him dueling with Viserys. God, I can't talk today. But the real thing here, I think, was the scene between him and Bronn, where he says, you know, if I asked you to kill a baby, would you do it? No questions asked. And this is one of my favorite scenes from Bronn in the books, is where he says, no, I'd ask you how much. Now, if I remember the book right, as soon as Bronn says that, they basically, you know, that's the end of the paragraph and they cut away to another scene. Here, they take just a couple seconds to pan back to Tyrion's face. And you can see he's like, whoa, you know, maybe I've not don't have as good a read on Bronn as I think he does. And you can see he's just a little worried, you know. He's wondering, have I clutched a viper to my chest? Well, needless to say, there's stuff coming up with Bronn that I quite like and I'm looking forward to. Anything else? Wow, amazing. Oh yeah, Jaquin, I'm liking the actor. But he only got a few lines, so him and his buddies in the cage, there's really not much I can say about them at this point. Okay, folks, I am almost out of time, but yes, this is a good episode. The season 2 is off to a very strong start, and I am looking forward to next week's episode so very much. Until then, please comment, rate, subscribe, and you guys have a good one. Later.